good evening, and welcome to the best night of your life. Woo! Guys, thank you all so much for allowing me to share a tiny portion of this evening with you guys. We have an amazing show lined up for you. Again, thank you so much. Please do me a favor, you all go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe to our channel. That's the J Spot Radio. Also, go to our Facebook, like and follow us there, the J Spot. Go to Instagram, like and follow us there as well. That's J Spot, Jaye for all three. Listen, guys, look, let's just jump right into it. Now, you all know we are like family. And we talk about everyday life and everyday people. But every now and then, these celebrities, they just cut up so bad that we have no choice but to cover some celebrity topics and some celebrity things that are going on. So this week has been no exception. So if you don't know, we're going to start off. Listen, we are talking about Shannon Sharp. Mr. Mr. Bubble Mouth, Mr. Gumble Mouth himself, Shannon Sharp. You all now listen. This is some foolishness to the utmost. And I'm telling you, I don't want to, and I'm not going to make light of this. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of let's tear Shannon down. But we're gonna have to have a conversation about Shannon because Shannon, let me tell you something. Shannon is a trip. He is a TRIP, a trip. And it's so ironic that Mr. Laughing and about Diddy and all this and R. Kelly and all this is listen, he was doing a little bit too much of that only for him to end up in a similar situation. And here's what I like to say. If you know that you have your Peter Pan stuck in Tinkerbell some doggone where, when these type of stories happen, when this type of foolishness goes down, it would behoove you to just stay out of it. Don't say nothing because, baby, you couldn't keep him from cracking jokes on all of the when they found the baby oil at Diddy party and all this other stuff. Baby, Shani couldn't keep that mouth, that country mouth closed. Now, here we are. And it's like, when I heard this story, if you all don't know what I'm talking about, Shannon Sharp is being accused of sexual assault for a 20-year-old young lady. Now listen, I don't take that lightly. I don't condone sexual assault of any, whatever the age is, whatever the race is. I don't condone it. However, I'm not going to castrate Shannon until this thing goes to court and let's find out what's really going on, because we are so quick to they're guilty, counsel him. Wait. Let's let the judge and the lawyers and the jury, let's let them do their job. Again, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he did it. There's a lot of things that I think that he did, but sexual assault is not one of them. But again, we have to wait and let the jury, because listen, you all, what we have been doing and what we see is happening to so many black men, which is why I don't understand how celebrities as big as Shannon Sharp is with a huge platform like that, or receding hairline, duck mouth, Stephen A. Smith, I don't see how they get on their huge platforms and bring each other down. Again, especially if you have been playing in the same sand that the ones that are going down have been playing in. How dare you? I don't understand. How do you feel comfortable with jumping on that bandwagon when you could easily be next? How many? And it's disturbing, because as I heard this story unraveling and as it continues to unfold, All I can think about when they said Shannon Sharp and what he was accused of, oh, this is the song that I hear in my head. Doom, doom, doom. Another one bites the dust, and another one, and another one. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey. How many more have to bite the dust? Jay, what you talking about? What dust? When are you all going to leave that pink poison alone? When are you all going to leave that penicillin alone? When are you all, like, how many guys have to go to, how many black men have to lose everything that they have worked so hard for before they leave the penicillin alone? How many, listen, and Shannon will sit up there, baby, listen, him and Ragby, Chad Ochocinco on their podcast, baby, they sit there and they go in. They go in on black women. Yeah, she got to make a certain amount of money, and what would it do? She got kids, and she got this and she got that. Shannon, can you help us understand? Help me understand. Because follow me now. If Shannon, this is why I'm like, listen, we got to wait and let the judge and the jury is out on this bull junkie. How? Shannon, as big as you are, financial wise, status wise, and as much money as he has, how does a little plain busted Becky get to a Shannon Sharp, a multi-millionaire? How does basic Becky get to Shannon Sharp? Help me understand that. Because according to the way he talks and he goes on and on and on and on about status and well, I wouldn't be paying for a date. I wouldn't be paying. Shannon, you paying for more than dates. You paying for some sucky, some licky, some sticky. You've been better off paying for a date. Listen, you've been better off dealing with you a baby mama opposed to dealing with this. Listen, it'd have been cheaper. Now you could possibly lose everything because of this foolishness. Because of dealing with this penicillin, you could lose everything. Listen, it's like they willing to risk it all. And I don't understand. This is no hate towards the penicillin women. It's not. My question is for the brothers. How much? How many of you all, how much? What is it going to take for you to just like knock it off? Like, I don't understand it. Maybe some fellas, if you are into the penicillin ladies, the penicillin people, let me know what's the big deal? What is the big deal that you would down the women that you come from just to go and get basement bargain Betty? You go get listen, he didn't even have a career woman. He didn't even, all the stuff that he says that he does and the caliber and all this and that. Hold up, Tink. Shannon, honey, the lady that you say that you go after and what you're interested in, that's not whose cookie jar you got caught in. You didn't get caught in her cookie jar. You got caught in her daughter's cookie jar. Her daughter that's just, listen, she just stopped using training bras. She's barely out of training bras, and that's who you're with. But you want to sit and you want to bash black women. You want to bash women that have kids. You want to bash, oh, well, I'm not paying for nothing. Yeah, Shannon, you probably have been better off just go ahead on and just paying for the little date, buying a little purse. You would have been cheaper because now look at you. And listening to the tapes that they got out, you can tell like this is just a straight setup. Like I said, seriously, I want to know, how does this chick How does she snag a Shannon Sharp? I don't understand it. Because looking at her, there was nothing listen, I know some girls on the low that'll run circles around that chick. How did she get Shannon? That's what I want to understand. Shannon, what made you so comfortable with the penicillin chick that you were willing to risk it all? That's what I don't understand. It's like when you look at yourself in the mirror, like you don't see, like, bro, you don't see a brother. You don't see that. Listen, all the ones before you, when you went home and chuckled at night about what Diddy was going through, you didn't possibly think, you know what? Man, I better slow down because I could be next. You didn't think that? Cedric, you're saying he's a bronze sexual, a fans, and she's a fans only bust down. And that's what I'm trying to understand, Cedric. For her being a fans only bust down, how does she get a Shannon Sharp? Because again, looking at her, in my opinion, there was, I'm thinking this one, man, I'm thinking this chick gonna be bad. You got Carrie. She looks like Carrie or Orphan Annie. She looked like Orphan Annie. Like, I didn't understand. There was nothing spectacular about her that you would be willing to risk it all. Like, she's not, I don't understand. So maybe it's something that you dudes understand. Maybe it's something that I as a woman don't understand. And please, for not now. Second, please don't think there's not a lick of hater in me, because listen, it's a lot of things in me, but hate ain't one of them. So when I believe in giving compliments when they are due. So listen, there are some bad women out there, truly bad. But when I saw bottom basement bargain Betty, I'm just like, God dog, he finna give it up. He about to lose everything for the chick that lived on Little House of the Prairie. He about to give it up for the girl off Little House off Gilligan Island. He finna he giving it up for Gilligan. What? You finna lose everything over this chick. Crazy. I don't understand. So for the rest of the brothers that's out here laughing and listen, leave the penicillin alone, okay? Leave the penicillin alone and go get you some castor oil, some cod liver. But listen, leave the penicillin people alone. Leave the penicillin women alone, because it's not that serious. Cedric, you said he offered her $10 million before she came out with the messages. Again, how does he get someone like that? How does she listen? You would have been better off go get Nikki. What's so wrong with Nikki? What's wrong with Nikki from the block? It wasn't gonna cost you nearly as much as you finna pay now. Not only cash, I'm not even talking about the money, but I'm talking about the embarrassment that he is going through right now. The embarrassment that his family is going through. This man's legacy will now be messed up because of this. Even if he does bounce back and they say, you know what, he didn't do it or he's found innocent, the damage is already done. You already have people trying to pull out of deals and endorsements and stuff like that with him all over this. So I ask again, how does a little run-of-the-mill Gilligan Island looking chick, how does Little House on the Prairie, Lassie's owner, how does she land a Shannon Sharp? I don't understand it. Like, they're not even in the same financial class. Jay, what do that have to do with anything? Because according to Mr. Sharp and as big as that pothole is that he told, well, if she ain't got nothing to lose, I don't buy this, I don't buy that. Well, Shannon, these text messages are saying something different. This audio is saying something. The audio is saying a little something different. You may don't buy dinner, but you definitely buy you some cooch. Okay? You don't buy dinner, you don't buy purses, but you definitely buy you a little choke. You don't buy all of this, but you buy a little slob on Bob. You buy a little something. So I don't understand though how how does a little fans only chick get a Shannon Sharp? Unless it was a setup. Which I believe, to be honest, I believe that it was. Listen, everybody around you know what your taste is. And again, let me say this. I'm not condoning him. I'm not any of that. Cedric, you're saying leave that Balka alone because that ish has definitely fried his company since. Again, this is the third chick. Cedric, I believe that there could be more chicks. But do I think that I don't think that he's done anything wrong. But dealt with the penicillin. This is what it all lands and leads back to, dealing with these penicillin people. That's what I think that went wrong. You're dealing with the penicillin people. So now you're gonna lose everything. Listening to the tapes just from what they've played, again, that stuff sounds definitely edited. So do I think that he's into a little rough, whatever? Listen, you know what he was about, and you stuck around and you did what you were hired to do. That's just my opinion. But again, when we look at the big picture, and he's this multimillionaire, he's an extremely famous, podcaster, former football player. You're all of these things. And then we look at the chick that you could possibly lose it all to. To me, I can't help but wonder how. And you say, Jay, what does the chick, you focusing on the wrong thing. You're not focusing on the allegation. Well, right now, we don't have enough to go on the allegation. So I'm going to let that play out in court before I cast judgment and call him any of those names but a gump for falling for and being over there with the little penicillin chick. That's all I'm going to go on. But I'm not going to castigate him and say that he's done this or he's done that. I'm going to let that play out in court because I refuse to jump on the bandwagon, I refuse to jump on the same bandwagon that has taken R. Kelly down unjustifiably, that is taking Diddy down. Ain't nobody talking about that. Now Diddy's sitting up in there that's taking all of these people down, but their penicillin counterparts are still living their best lives. So I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. Am I a fan of Shannon Sharp's app? I'm not a fan of him at all. The crap that he talks. But my being a fan of his has nothing to do with this man possibly losing everything that he has worked so hard for. Cedric, you're saying, stop it, Jay. That ninja is guilty as sin itself. I haven't seen that, Cedric. I haven't seen it. So I'm going to let it play out in court and let's see what they uncover. But again, just by this whole penicillin thing, I'm not convinced, and I'm going to keep my opinion as far as for his allegations. I'm going to let that play out in court. What I want to talk about is, again, how does she land? What was he doing? Was he out just picking blueberries and then you see bottom basement and then you all get together? What did she message him? And how? Just because, again, I'm stumped because of the way his harsh conversations. You pull up some of the footage with him and Chad Ochocinco and the way these two just go crazy, like their conversation towards women, especially black women in particular, the way they talk so harshly, but then you go and you end up with the penicillin version of the black woman that you proclaim that you can't stand. That's all I'm trying to figure out. So if somebody can help me to connect those dots and help me understand, how does that happen? How do you end up with the counterpart, the penicillin version of the black woman that you're saying right now that you can't stand? How do you end up with her? I that's what I don't understand. And then to add insult to injury, this far back, I wish his hairline makes a decision on what it wants to do, if it want to leave or if it want to go. Stephen A. Smith, when I tell you I can't stand Stephen A. Smith, I can't. This man, in my opinion, does not have a loyal bone in his body. If you looking for somebody to snitch or sell you out or not have your back, you can always depend on Stephen A. Smith, baby, because Stephen, he gonna sit there, he gonna backbite, he gonna do everything to disassociate himself with you. What I'm gonna say is, Stephen A. Smith, with all this foolishness that you talk, please do not have your Peter Pan stuck in one of these Tinkerbells. Please don't be found. Please don't be found, because just as easily as you're disassociating yourself from Shannon Sharp and, oh, I was never at a Diddy party. I was never at, I don't even listen to R. Kelly music no more. That's a doggone shame. Why you sitting up there doing all that? I just hope, for your sake, you have not participated and partaken in any of the foolery that these brothers are being accused of. I just hope that your name does not come up, because you are very quick to throw a brother under the bus. Very quick. All your conversations, anybody, he always stands 10 toes down against the brother. Always. This is a man that you sitting up there so-called calling a friend. Let me say this. With friends like you, people don't need enemies, Stephen A. Smith. People don't need enemies. If you are the version of a friend, if you are a friend, if that's what you call being a friend, he don't need you as no friend. These people, listen, anybody that's calling Stephen A. Smith a friend, you all better look and see what his version of friendship is. You all better take really good notes and understand what this man considers friendship, because, baby, the way he listen, not only does he throw you under the bus, but he jumps out the passenger seat and jumps in the driver's seat and drives that bad boy right over you. Not a good look. His interview, I'm just like, dang, Stephen A. Smith, like, you don't support nobody. You always throwing somebody under the bus with your big forehead. Just that the forehead, it just, that's why his hairline is leaving, because he got no loyalty. See, every time you lie and you come against a black man, your hairline goes back a few centimeters every time. And so listen, by the end of this year, he gonna be bald. Just go ahead on and cut it all off, Stephen A. Smith, because you stay flipping the script. You stay turning. Listen, oh well, I only date a certain. Listen, I'm gonna tell you. No, they don't want you all. The penicillin women don't want you. They just know that you all are easy come ups. You are easy targets. They know that they can entice you and they can have you to do any old filthy thing to them, and you just get carried away, baby. You just go to town doing your business as, oh, I can do whatever I want to do to her. She gonna let me do it to you, do it to her however I want to. Absolutely. So she can go to the doctor, unbeknownst to you, and then she gonna get a rape kit, and they gonna show all the bruising of her vaginal walls and all this other stuff, and gonna have it on file because you being played. But you think you doing something, baby. Y'all think y'all doing something. You choking her. You don't know what she's doing after she leaves from with you. Because you're doing everything. Oh, I can choke you, I can kick you, I can throw you down a flight of stairs, all that bondage crap, all that. Listen, you doing all. Listen, you just see, because that's what they say about you, penicillin ladies. They say, oh man, you can get as freaky as you want to with them. See, and they know you all. That's how you all are easy targets to be set up. Easy targets, because they know that you're not thinking with this head up here. You thinking what little man down there. You not thinking logically. So that's how you all. That's how they keep falling into the same trap. Now you don't know what type of information this girl done gathered on him. So now you're gonna present it to us because she was already building the case. So now when it comes out, oh man, look at what he did to her. He did this to her. He did that to her. Okay, yep. But it was done consensually because he didn't know he was being set up. So you keep on choking her out and keep on rough riding her and all this other. You keep on doing all that. And she going back. And she gathering all this. So now when she have a conversation, or you gonna choke me in public? Chick, you having sexual conversation with him, trying to get him riled up so y'all can role play. I'm like, and Shannon, if that's all you got, is that what? Listen, I've seen porn better. Listen, I've seen porn scripts better than this ish that they had going on. I'm gonna tell you, I was not impressed. I'm just gonna say it like that. I was not impressed with the foolishness, but I'm not going to throw him under the bus and say, you know what, he was guilty of anything malicious, or he was guilty of sexual, assault and sexual misconduct and anything like that. Again, I'm going to let the judge and the courts, I'm going to let them handle that and get to the bottom of what the truth is. But I wanted to talk about it from this standpoint of how does this caliber of man, how are you all continuously being caught up by the same type of penicillin chick? That's all I wanted to know, was how does this keep happening? Because again, as adamant as a lot of them are about how they feel about black women in general, how you feel about dating them, how you feel about dating single mothers, how you feel about taking black women out and doing this and doing that, and you only date your caliber, and you only date, I'm a high value man. Well, high value man, if you're so high value, how did you end up with bottom basement Betty? That's what I want to know. How did you end up with her? That's it. I just want to know, how did you end up with bottom basement Betty, but you're a high caliber man? So does that mean that you're only high caliber and you're only high value, and that only pertains to black women? Are you only high value when it comes to black women? So you can't date a black woman that's not high value, but you can bang out bottom basement Betty. Because if that's how it is, okay, I can understand that. But again, you all, listen, all of my high profile black brothers, listen, we brothers at the end of the day. You see what this penicillin is doing. I'm telling you, listen, let it go. Let this penicillin go. Let these penicillin people go, because if you don't, you could be next. But again, speaking of next, listen, Stephen A. Smith, Just make sure you and your receding hairline, just make sure that you are not the next one to be getting thrown up under the bus. Because again, at this point, they're saying, listen, Shannon Sharpe, he's had to temporarily step away from his role at ESPN amid this lawsuit. So this is just the beginning. Now, listen, they no doubt they was out there hating on him because he had one of the number one podcasts out there. You know, he out there doing his thing at the height of like just doing it. Look, money, power, fame. You listen, stop thinking that y'all untouchable. Please stop thinking that, because as I'm sitting here talking about this, I'm just like, it's not funny, and I don't like that this is happening to yet another brother. And no doubt, listen, have you all ever thought about it like this? Listen, he set up that he embarrassed that pink man, Skip Bayless. You never know. Listen, Skip could have sent little bottom basement Betty over there to set him up. But you all shouldn't be so easy. Listen, get caught up in some stuff that's gonna really mean something. Listen, get caught up in some money laundering or something like that. Stop getting caught up with these bottom basement baddies. That's all I'm gonna say. Stop getting caught up in this issue. If you gonna go down for something that, listen, like, man, I thought I was gonna get away from this. But stop going down for all this sexual stuff. Stop going down for all this. Monique told this old man, she told Shannon Sharpe when he interviewed her a year or two ago, she told him to get him somebody and settle down with and leave these young girls alone. She told him that. Shannon, I know now that you wish that you had to listen to Monique. I know you wish that you had to listen to her, because now look at you. You over here looking crazy without a friend. Without a friend, because Stephen A. Smith said, you thought you had a friend, you have no friend in me. That's what Stephen A. Smith is telling you. So again, for Shannon's sake, I definitely hope that he is able to bounce back from this, because I don't want to see him lose everything that he's worked so hard for. Thank you, Husky, for subscribing. Husky from Russia on our YouTube. Thank you so much. Listen, again, I hope that Shannon does not lose everything. Cedric, you're saying he's guilty. And look, again, I'm not, at this point, the jury is out. So what I know that he's guilty of is dealing with taking that penicillin, and he needs to leave that penicillin alone. And we're not even going to talk about the age, because you know what? We are real. This society is real, real two-faced about this age. So she can be 19 or 20. Oh, she's just a young girl. She's just a baby. But some of you all are the same ones that, flip it and now, yeah. Oh, well, these old chicks. So make up your mind. So if you in your 40s and you date somebody in your 20s, in their 20s, 21, 22, what makes you different than Shannon Sharpe? If we're going to go on this thing by age. I'm not touching the age thing simply because I believe that a lot of people are hypocritical when it comes to that age thing. See, since she's penicillin, they want this young girl. But let that bottom basement Betty, let the penicillin chick have been a coffee chick. Now she would have been a grown woman. She's a consenting adult. So that whole double standard, simply because, and people, for those that say, oh, this has nothing to do with race. Okay? Keep telling yourself that. You keep telling yourself that this has nothing to do with race. You keep saying that. I'm not the one that's gonna try to break that down and dissect it for you and show you exactly why this is about race. You keep thinking that, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not here to try to change your mind or make you believe my views or my narratives. I'm just trying to put some ish out there to put something on your mind. But the double standard, she's a young, oh, she's a young girl, she's a young girl. But again, let that have been Busty Nikki. Because just because this penicillin chick, she's shaped like the wall, now she's a young girl. But you got Nikki that, listen, that got all this pow, 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 and they the same age. Now she a young woman. She's a woman. She's a consenting adult. So we got to make it make sense, because the whole double standard on that area is not cool at all. Cedric, you're saying Monique told his dump to get himself a 40 to 50-year-old sister. Yes, she did. And did he heed that advice? He did not. Shannon Sharp did not heed Monique's advice. Now look at him. Even Kirk Franklin told him, listen, get you somebody and settle down with. But no, he didn't. He liked to carry his little purses, and he liked to mess with penicillin chicks. Now, carrying purses and penicillin chicks, they all listen. I just feel like if you carry a purse as a man, you like over 6 feet tall and you carrying a purse as a man. Okay. You are prone for this. You are prone. They got the right one, because your facilities, all that is not, like, everything is not working properly. Your business sense is good. But game, when you make that amount of money and when you get to that certain level, I wonder, like, do they lose their sense of, like, street knowledge and, like, that, like, the hood edge? Do they lose that? Like, does that go away when you get money? Because I get the, and you know what, I'll rephrase that, because I don't think it goes away when you get money. I think it goes away for people. They stop looking at it, and they stop that sense in them. It kind of dwindles down for people that think that they're better than other people. So I think that that's what happened with Shannon. You think that you're better than black people, so now the penicillin people got to show you, yeah, ninja, you're still one of us, man. You come on back. But when you go denying yourself and denying who you are as a black man, you don't want to identify, they're going to show you what they think that you are, who you've always been to them. You may feel like you're something different, but they will always see you as that. You will never be their equal. So stop trying to be their equal and just be strong in your own skin. So again, for me, I would like to see Shannon Sharp bounce back from this. I don't want to see him lose everything over this. I really don't. I really hope that this thing turns around and that they find that is definitely some made up bull junkie. I hope that they do, because again, I don't want to keep seeing this happen to our brothers. I don't. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of Shannon Sharp's. I'm not. I'm really not. But I think that he has a great podcast. I think that he's a great businessman. I do. And I like that about him. And I'm glad that he is doing his thing. I'm glad that his podcast is as successful as it is. So I appreciate that. And I admire that about him. I admire the grind. I admire the hustle. Again, I'm not a hater whatsoever. So I don't want to see him fail, especially over something like this. I don't. But as he's going through this, again, hopefully he comes out on the other side of it. I hope that he does. And when he does, if he does, please let this be a lesson to you, Shannon, and other brothers. Like, it's getting real out here. And if y'all don't see that, like, the bull's eye is on you. It's on you. It's on you, successful black man. The bull's eye is on you. So stop falling for the okey doke. Stop falling for the devil in the blue dress. Stop falling for this foolishness. Y'all got too much on the line. Your families are depending on you. The legacy that you're trying to build, that you have built, are you willing to throw that ish away over look at this. They're all like it's all being thrown away over some bull junkie. Like y'all ain't even losing it for something real. Now listen, speaking of something real, you all I, I'm gonna cover it because it's the hot topic is foolish. Now I'm gonna say this: we have got to do better because after reading this story, I just could not believe this foolishness. This young lady, a Mississippi woman, she was kicked out of her baby daddy's funeral after kissing his schlong dong as he was in the casket, and she is reciting lyrics from Future song. I'm a ratchet eight. I don't know the song, but I can only imagine what the beat was. And all I could do was just, all I was able to do, you all, was just put my head down. What do you all think about that? What kind of foolishness? She is kissing her deceased baby daddy schlong dong in the funeral. He's in the casket, never to be heard from no more. And she's reciting Future's lyrics, Ratchet AB, and whatever else it goes on. And not only that, she has the nerve to be upset because they kicked her out the funeral. And I said, you know what? You all are lying to me. This has to be something that was, I was hoping that it was a skit. Hopefully it was a skit. It has to be. But how do you go? What? I don't understand. Would you ever, first of all, I don't even want to touch the deceased person. I would be too distraught. So, what would possess you? And what do you all think about that? Do you think that, you know what, Jay? No, I mean, everybody, are you going to be one of those people that say, now, Jay, everybody grieve in their own way. So she was definitely probably just grieving. She was grieving over her baby daddy, and she gonna miss him and this and that. So that's just her way of showing that she was grieving over him. So people do different things. So we can't get on them. We can't get on them for for how they decide to how to react. But she was going out. She was like, and they better be glad because I started to pull that something out and suck it. Ma'am, suck what? You gonna suck the embalming fluid off of it? I don't understand. Like, his mama and them was there. See, that's why you didn't make it to wife status, because of stuff like that. He may have appreciated the ratchetness, no doubt. But you don't go being ratchet all if listen, there's a time and a place for ratchetness. And it's not always in front of you. The man is in the casket and you kiss him. You what? I don't understand it. I really don't. And I will say this, baby girl. You listen, seeing that clip, you put us back. You definitely pushed us back. You pushed us back a couple of pegs with that foolishness. I'm not even gonna lie. You pushed us back a couple of pegs. You pushed us back, but I don't understand where and when did we lose having respect for the deceased, having respect at funerals. You all, nowadays, any and everything, you can see any and everything take place at a funeral. Baby, the other woman wants to come in and make the funeral all about her. The first baby mama, even though he was with the ninth baby woman at the time he passed away, everybody want to make it about them. And I'm just like, and oh, we're not even going to talk about the way people dress at funerals. Some people say, Jay, that's the way it used to be. That's old. Wait, why does having respect for oneself, operating at a a higher caliber of morality and integrity, why are those characteristics and traits considered old school? Why is respect for yourself? Why is that considered old school? Why is having integrity considered old school? Why is everything that should be good and that the things that we should be striving for to make us better and to make our kids better and to make our communities better, why are those things shunned upon? Why are we so comfortable with embracing foolishness? Why are we so comfortable and why are we so willing to, fight for the right to, to just look bad, do bad things, say bad things? Like, what's the big deal? Like, why are we making it like it's a badge of honor to be a part and embrace all of the nonsense? Like, why are we like that? Like, we're the only community of people that do that. Like, you gonna go to this man's funeral, the whole funeral, and you gonna show out at the funeral. You kissing on this deceased man's schlong dong. Like, what was you expecting it to get hard and come? Well, it's already hard, but were you expecting it to stand up at 21 gun salute? I didn't understand what the purpose of that was, but hopefully, I'm hoping that now that she has seen this video of herself and she's heard herself, because sometimes, we need to hear certain things to register and make us feel bad and say, oh, you know what? Oh, that was not one of my finer moments. You know what? I'm going to definitely have to get myself together. That was not even cool. Hopefully she has one of those moments and definitely rethinks and reconsiders ever doing something as foolish as this again. Now, speaking of something as foolish as this again, our next hot topic, this guy, he's trying to get off of child support after finding out the child wasn't his after 6 years. So he had signed the birth certificate, and he was paying child support for 6 years. He found out the kid was not his. Again, we got to keep talking about this because we have to keep stressing it. It's so important to not sign the birth certificate until you are 100% sure that child is yours. Now, I know some of you all, Jay, you a woman, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that they shouldn't be signing the birth certificate because until whatever. Again, you should not. Fellas, listen to Auntie. Do not sign it. Listen, you a man. Yes, I know you are. This is your child. You can take care of the child. You do what you need to do. Be there for the child. But until you actually know that that's your child, don't sign the birth certificate because the birth certificate is a legal binding document in a contract and it's not easy to get out of it. So once your name is on that birth certificate, a lot of states, again, the laws differ from state to state. So definitely check it out and look up the law in your state. But most of these states, once your name is on the birth certificate, they will not remove your name. You can establish that you establish the paternity after the fact. The courts don't care. They don't care. And I hate to see that happen. Cedric, you're saying sucker, and his sister is bogus as heck too. Absolutely. Like, I would not encourage any young man, anybody in my family, any young man, I wouldn't encourage anybody to to sign a birth certificate. My first question now is, you know what? Did you establish paternity? Now, I'm never going to say, oh, well, don't be there for the kid. Maybe you don't have the money right now to do a paternity test. And that's cool. I can understand that. So I'm not saying don't be a part of that child's life until you are able to get a DNA test. I'm saying don't sign a legal document, which a birth certificate is a legal document. Do not sign that. Now, listen, this is my opinion. I am not certified to give anybody any legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. However, do not sign the birth certificate until you are sure that that is your child bloodline. Because what happens is we see so many situations like this where these men are signing the birth certificates and then they're finding out years later that the kid is not theirs. Now you're on the hook legally for a child that is not yours. And again, a lot of times the states, they don't want to take the kids off of the child support. And here's why. The state is like this. They look at it like this. If we take Famo off child support because the kid ain't his, then guess what? She's gonna 9 times out of 10 come and gonna need state help. She's gonna need like the state medical card and the food stamp benefits and stuff like that. She's gonna need that. We're not about to pay, we're not about to do that. So unfortunately, sir, sorry for you, not sorry, but you will have to continue to financially be responsible for this child because the state, we have enough kids that we're taking care of. So if we have someone that is on the hook that can take care of this child, then guess what? You're going to have to take care of this child. And that's unfortunate. Again, I am not a fan of this child support system. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The child support system does not favor fathers. It does not. I'm just going to be honest. It does not favor fathers. It doesn't. And it should be taken lightly. And I'll try to, educate the brothers on what you can do to kind of be proactive. That's one thing. And then also protect yourselves because again, it's no laughing matter when you got a dude that's working hard, trying to get himself together, trying to take care of his kids, and then you have this crow on your back every time you turn around. You in court for this, you in court for that, you in court for some crazy stuff because you got a crazy chick that won't let you be happy. She won't let you live, but you are trying to do the right thing. So it's just like, okay, listen, the system is not set up for that. And again, I understand that, again, having a kid is a great privilege. It's a blessing to a lot of people. For those that feel like it's not a blessing to have kids, you should definitely make sure that you are skeeting in your hands or that you are doubling up on your protection because we don't want you to slip and get nobody pregnant. And because those the ones that be feeling like it's her fault because she got pregnant, but you're not gonna say nothing about you showed up there and you said, "Ooh, I like how I feel without. I don't want no barrier. I like how I feel without no protection." You be the main one hollering. You like how I feel without no protection, but be the first one also hollering. I don't want no kids. This not for you. This is for the men that feel like, man, I got my first child, I got my first son, I got my first daughter, and then they go through this and then find out that it's not it's not their biological child. Again, that's no laughing matter. I know it's so heartbreaking, and I can only understand how men, their heart breaks. You've invested all of this time, you all this love, you've given all of this to this kid just to find out that it's not your biological kid. Again, I don't think that that's fair. Cedric, you're saying he had the paperwork to get him off of child support and was trying to sign it. Again, depending on what state it is, and I'm glad and I hope that she did eventually sign it. But again, with most states, once they got somebody on there, once they got you on child support, they definitely drag their feet about if they even do it. A lot of times, again, they won't consider it because, again, the state doesn't want to pay for an extra child, especially if they already got somebody on the hook that is paying child support. So definitely be mindful. I would say establish paternity prior to signing the birth certificates. Now, ladies, listen, we are living in a day and age where let's not get sensitive about this. We have to kind of step up out of this sensitivity as far as that's questioning your integrity, especially with everyday situations like this going on. I'm not saying that you was out there or you out there, but listen, you could have slipped and fell on it and forgot that you fell on this one before y'all got together, and you got together within the same window of being with your boo, and now you like, dang, I'm pregnant, and you don't forgot all about you fell on it. For the girls' night or in the trip to Miami, you forgot that you fell on somebody else's for the weekend. Y'all know it's like it'd be a lot. Oh my God, I was so out of it. I should have never took them shots, whatever it is, and you done fell on it. But you know what? You didn't kiss them, so you don't count it. Or you was drunk, so you didn't count that falling on the schlong, somebody else's schlong dong. That don't count because it didn't happen in your state. Y'all know how you got to make up the little scenarios to help you get through the fact that you done did something a little strange. So now you come back, now you the perfect girlfriend, you the perfect wife, and all this other stuff because you left that indiscretion back there. But did you really? Because now you done came home with a guts full of somebody else's baby. So not saying that you all do that, but I'm saying we have to show a little grace for these guys. And if a man, even if you are married, if a man says that, you know what, listen, I'm not saying that you cheated, but just for my own peace of mind, I would like to get a paternity test on our child because it's so much stuff going on and I've heard so much stuff. I just want to be sure for me. Again, with the day and time that we're living in, again, ladies, please let's just help the brothers, especially if you are in a great relationship and now y'all got the kid, and I know it can be a little sting, but I'm saying this. That's why I want to talk so we can talk about this now, so that we can kind of take that sting off of hearing. You know what? I want a DNA test. Let's kind of try to take the sting off of that because it's too many good brothers getting wrapped up in these crazy situations, and I just think that it's sad. So let's help the brothers. Again, it wouldn't be an easy thing. Jake, how would you feel if your dude told you that he wanted a DNA test, for your baby? Well, first of all, I'm gonna want a DNA test. I'm like, wait a minute. Who having a baby? What? Let me I'm gonna get a DNA test to make sure it's mine. That's just how I would be. I'm like, I need to make sure because what had happened? What? Who did what? So I would have to get a DNA test for myself. I'm like, here, fam, you can get a copy of my test. I had to make sure. I had questions myself because I'm trying to figure out how did I get knocked up? Is this really is this really my baby? So I don't think At this point in the game, I don't think that I would be upset or shocked. I would be trying to figure out for myself, whose baby, because I know this is not my baby. That's what I'll be sitting up there listening. I'll be like, you got to be jiving me. Like when I was pregnant with my son, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, I've always been a little touched up here, but I was just like, I said, you got to be kidding. You got to be kidding me. I'm just like, wait a minute. I said, what had happened was now, how you going? I'm like, man, now you finna, listen, I'm finna have my little, give me a little grown lady body. I'm finna have my little grown body on. I'm finna have my little, be thick, all thick in the thighs. That's what I was saying when I found out. I'm like, oh, I'm finna be thick. That's how I started being, instead of being thick, I was sick, throwing up all over the place, passing out. So I was not a good candidate for being pregnant, being nobody's listen, and mentally being somebody's mama. You all, let me tell y'all, just listen. Parenting is not for the weak. I'm gonna just tell you that because they talk back, they fall. Listen, when they little, I'm gonna tell you the kids they go through stages. When they're little, they pass out. Listen, they fall out. They want everything that they see in the store. When you snatch them up, then they acting like you abusing them. And then once they get out that stage, then they get to the talking back stage. They want to talk back. They want to act like they know more than you know. And then after they get out of that stage, then they get to the teenage years, and then they think that they grown. They thinking that they paying some bills. They thinking the bills is so. Listen, you really have to have some tough skin in this game. I'm gonna tell you, because being a parent, again, it's not for the faint of heart. You all, being a parent is not for the faint of heart, and then being a single parent at that it's not. So if you are blessed with a great kid, like I would say, I got the perfect dude. I got the perfect dude. My son was like, whoo, they don't make them like that anymore. And I'm like, I never wanted to risk having another one and then they turn out like me. Cause then we was gonna have a problem. It would be, listen, every day it would be some conflict. Every day. Having a little me, or where my son is kind of a dude version. See, he's he's how I would be if I was a dude and I was cool. I never understood where he got his smooth, his cool, calm, just low, like just low maintenance, low, just cool tone and just easy going personality. I never understood where he got that from. That's why I would have to ask, is this my kid? Because that's not me. Like, I'm just a bundle of joy and confusion and foolishness. And then he's just like this cool, mellow version. Like, he's just he's just smooth. He's just like a smooth cup of latte. That's how my son is. But me, I'm like a strong cup of joe, just full of craziness, full of foolishness. So I would say, listen, having these kids is not for the faint of heart. But again, we have to cut these guys some grace when it's coming to these DNAs. Pretty Tasha, you're saying, right, sis, I would get a DNA test too. Absolutely. And that's just to ensure that everybody's best interest is kept. Because, like we talked about last week, they want to start doing child support in some states upon conception. So, if we're going to be on board with radical changes like that, we need to be on board with paternity test being made mandatory. We need to be on board with that. So we can't just favor one radical decision without favoring another. So if child support is due upon conception, then mandatory DNAs should be a part of that deal as well, because you can't expect me to fork over child support for a kid that I'm not entirely sure that it's mine. I mean, I'm going to go with it, but just like you got the law and you got a piece of paper, I need that same clarity and that same protection. Cedric, you're saying West Side breed. Absolutely. Listen, we not playing around. So again, ladies, let's show the guys a little grace. So if you know you up in there and you know you pregnant and you finna have your baby and you excited and you know, don't steal his moment to be excited because he might be in the back of his mind hoping that the kid is his, wonder and wanting to accept that the kid is his, but not 100% knowing because he doesn't have a DNA test. Again, it may not have nothing to do with him not trusting you. Maybe he done been with a chick that done said the kid was his, and then he find out that the kid is not his. Now he's scorned. I'm just saying, let's operate with a little grace if we are ever in this situation and the brother say, you know what, I want a DNA test. Guys, we're going to take a short musical break. And when we return, we have more hot topics to get into. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. You're listening to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time. Yes, go ahead. We're going to let them get these doggone. Hello. I'm going. I'm all right. Yeah, Cedric, you right. That's in Texas. It's a crazy law. Like I couldn't. I would not want to be in a situation with that type of foolishness. Like you're like, oh, she 5 minutes pregnant, and now she can go down there and she can get child support. Mm-hmm. All right, John. All right, John. Let me find out I got We can come back, but guys, listen. We gotta do better. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time. Guys, that's my girl from Trinidad, Gabrielle Palandi, Congo. I'm gonna go to the islands. I told them I was coming. You know, I gotta turn a little bit of me down, and go over there, because I was on one of their podcasts like maybe a year or so ago, and I'm like, talking. I was partaking in one of the conversations. I'm like, oh, child, and those men, like the views are different. See, I'm like, I'm glad I'm over here in the good old US of A because this mouth over here, it's really not the mouth that they really. It's not popular over there. You're gonna have to, calm down. And I just want to make sure that I am following their protocol. But I told them I'm gonna go over there. I do plan on visiting Trinidad and being over there. But I'm coming right, Caitlin. I'm coming right. I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna have my stuff together. But listen, speaking of stuff together, it's just me. Sitting next to me, we have Chandler, esthetician, mother of a group of cool dudes,
hey, yeah,
and a little lady,
woo woo,
Lady Lotus. Hey, honey, how you
doing? I am amazing. How are you, Sunshine?
Good. It is really sunshine out. Listen, they said it was real nice outside, but I'm glad I had a jacket because I walked outside. I'm like, wait, it's still a little nippy out here.
It's still a little nip, but I accept the sunshine. I accept it. I went out on my lunch break and was just like, come on, give it to me.
I was not. I was just like, because it was, see, my house is just bipolar because it was saying that it was like 80 degrees in my house. I'm like, so if it's 80 degrees, typically when it gets hot in my house, it's scorching outside. So I'm like, okay, but again, I said to myself, you know what? I know I'm going to need a jacket because if it's hot, if everybody else is hot, I know I'm still going to be a little bit cold and I'm going to have to adjust to the weather. And I'm glad that I did because I got out there. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I haven't put my coats up at all yet. Now, the bigger coats, I've put them up. But that little, like, windbreaker type of coat, nah, she ain't getting put up.
Because I'm like, I still had on boots and on Sunday when it was raining outside, I'm like, it was, I don't know, but, I be doing my own little thing. So if you all ever see me outside, just bundled up, just say hi. Just be like, you know what? She is not. I am not finna just deal with this one right here. But guys, listen, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor, you all. Go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe to our channel. That's the J Spot Radio. Also go to our Facebook, like and follow us there, the J Spot. Also go to Instagram, like and follow us there, the J Spot. J is spelled Jaye for all three. Listen, you all, turn on the notification bells. Boop, boop, for all three platforms. Listen, guys, we have been having an amazing conversation tonight. Listen, the foolishness is real. And guess what? I got more for you. This is right. Now listen, when I read this, brace yourself, because this foolishness right here, I'm gonna tell you, like, now I've talked about some crazy ish, you all, but this foolishness right here took the cake. This woman breastfed her boyfriend's baby, and the baby mama was about to get up in that end. So now listen, you heard me right. The lady, she breastfed her boyfriend's baby. Now here's the backstory. She had just had a baby, and he had just had a baby. They broke up with the people that they had the babies by, and then they got in a relationship. So she's still lactating because she has a newborn baby and he has a newborn baby. So they were having family day. So he got the baby and they having family day. They chilling and everything. The baby runs out of milk, breast milk, because his baby runs out of milk. So the baby mother was unavailable to come and supply the baby with milk. So the girlfriend, she said, well, I'm just trying to help your baby to let your baby. So I popped it out and I fed your baby with my breast milk. What do you all think about that? Like, as a mother, like, how would you feel about that? Because, okay, in one aspect of it, she didn't let the lady's baby starve. Okay, so she didn't do that. So she didn't let the baby starve. But how would you guys feel about that? Would there be another option? Lady Lotus, what do you think about that?
I'm about to be ignorant. Ain't nobody say nothing. When the black mama when the nanny put the titty in the white baby mouth, wasn't nobody mad.
That's what some of the people were saying.
Nobody mad. Nana fed all them clear babies back in the day because they mamas was too cute to do it. I don't know. I probably would have lost my wig. I probably would have lost my mind. You definitely probably would have been finding out how to bond me out of jail, because I could have possibly snatched her wig back. Because where is his or her daddy at, and you couldn't get your crusty self up and go to the store? It was that bad that nobody could go to the store and get any kind of milk.
But see, the thing is now, but the baby was a breastfed baby. So the baby wasn't even. So, when you're breastfed did you breastfeed?
I breastfed, but
when you're breastfed, them breastfed babies, they don't take bottled milk.
They will.
They do not.
Because the milk is coming out of a bottle anyway. The baby.
No, hungry. She popped the tip.
But what I'm saying, you were saying, if the breast milk there, the breast milk is in a bottle.
Right.
But if you run out of breast milk, you're not gonna let my baby starve. Go take your retarded self to the store and go find some type of milk until you get to me, or I can get over there with some more milk. I don't even know how the mama slow self let that baby run out of milk, but ain't nobody running out of no breast milk. I have more than enough at the school for Faja. But baby, please don't snatch your little dirty breast out your mouth. You probably ain't washed your bra in 2 weeks and pop it.
I don't know. Like, I mean, from when she was so when I heard the young lady explaining, so her explanation made it a little bit more easier to.
What is her explanation to make it
Well,
easier?
because she was saying that, well, at least I didn't want your baby to starve. So from that standpoint, I
Go
took it as
to the
though.
store and
See, it's
buy
not okay.
some
I'm
milk.
just playing devil advocate because
Mm-mm.
I know I would have told everything up. Let you put your in my baby's mouth. I probably would have told everything
That
up.
was
I'm not even gonna lie about that. I would have told her, listen, I don't
please
cuss,
don't.
but I would have lit into that
Oh,
and him and then some.
I don't care if the baby ran out of milk. I don't. At this point, I don't even care if it's Similac or Infamil, and my child didn't even get that. But just go get some milk. You could have got the cow's milk and put some water in it and watered it down. You could have gave the baby some water. You could have gave the baby some watered down juice. You did not have to get that baby your nipple.
And like I said, I would the devil's advocate in me, knowing that okay, so I breastfed my son for till he was like a year, until that guy bit me and I was like, that's it. So he was not dual, he wasn't dual fed. So he didn't take the breast and then the bottle. Even though I pumped, he was just one of them ones where she better give me that titty or I don't want nothing. And he would go I'm telling you, it took me one day to put him on the bottle. That's because I was playing around with it. I was trying to, and he wouldn't take it. But when they started he was about 10 months, and he was teething, and he took my thingy and he raked it over that tooth, and I wanted to grab that. I said, "Oh my God!" So when I got out the state of shock and realized this bit my thing, that was it. He was bottle fed from that day, and I felt so bad because it took him all. When I tell you all, I felt so bad because he did not want to eat. He would not take the breast milk from the bottle all day. It was like, man, like six hours. Now I know some of y'all like that's child abuse. You tell that to my titty.
That ain't no child
Okay,
abuse.
the way that brother bit my titty at 10 months. Listen, he lucky I didn't throw him down the stairs biting my
Girl,
titty
you
like
lucky
that.
you only got bit. You so lucky. I done had Sasha
So
had that thing split like this. One side was over here and the other side was over here on one of them, and it was so bad because when it did finally heal, I was so scared to like latch her back on, and that just was like, oh, finally. But I've gone through my breastfeeding stories, but at the end of the day, get up and go to the
So
store
I say that
and buy
because they're
my
not.
baby.
But see, I'm not saying that because I know there is some. So I don't know. I'm just glad I'm not in that situation because again, I know I would have had to kick her. I would have had to kick her out the side of her brain, even though she felt like she was from her
That should have
explanation. She
that
felt
should
like
have
she was
been
doing a good job.
that should have been the last result. That should have been the last result. The last result is we went to the store, we got some milk. We got three different kind of milks, and the baby would not take any of these milks. We done bought four different bottles. They got the bottles that's made
Yeah,
like
you know
nipples.
that milk and stuff
They
is so
got,
expensive
but it
now.
doesn't.
No,
Hey, it doesn't matter. You gonna have to
these
come.
was
You
no.
gonna have to come at me
She
with
don't
some
got. They don't got the money.
examples.
They ain't got the money. Looking at this picture,
You
they don't got that money for that
you should
milk.
have called me and asked me for some money then.
She asked her. She asked the mother for some milk. They were not able to get the
But
point.
you said the breast milk. I'm off of the breast milk wasn't available. I am on. Why didn't we go to the store and buy some
So
milk?
they didn't say that they went to the store. Let's say that they went to the store. If they did go to the store, like I say, all these babies, all these different type of milks, all these milks are not healthy. She wanted
This
the
is
baby
one
on.
moment. This is one moment. You asked
You're
me
not
how
gonna
I
put it.
feel.
You're not
I'm
gonna
sorry.
right.
It's a moment. And
You not,
in this
I don't
moment,
know.
in this moment, it is all type of different kind of milks that you could go get. Call me and ask me before you just decide
Ooh,
that
she
you
put
about to
that.
flap
She
it.
put it up in there, baby. Ooh, baby, I would. Ooh, child, I cannot even imagine.
I would.
I will put.
And that thing was in her daddy mouth.
Ooh, she probably don't
You
put it
probably
out.
cheating on him, and somebody else had that mouth.
Well, she could have been with her baby. Her baby daddy just got through sucking on him because she got a. She just had a baby by a different dude. She just had a baby by a different dude, so I don't know. But I
feel
just
like that. In that instance, in order for the Capricorn to accept this, I'm gonna need for it to be the last result, not, well, we didn't have this and we didn't have that, so I just flapped it out. You didn't call me to come get my baby. Did you call me to come? If you called me to say one no milk, we should have been discussing what's the option. Well, I'm still lactating. Okay, well, don't put him on your mouth. Just squeeze real hard and drip it over his mouth.
Hey, we got hey Trevor. Trevor is on YouTube. Trevor is saying a blessed night to you both. So it is dangerous for a under for another woman to breastfeed another woman's child. It's dangerous. And he said, I don't know, just asking, is it dangerous?
I think it's dangerous.
I don't think it's dangerous either. I think it's just a principle of the matter type of thing. Like when a mom is breastfeeding, that's definitely an intimate bonding moment between the mother and the child. So that's one thing that what I think we will have a problem with.
It would be dangerous if this woman is drinking or smoking,
she's
because whatever in our bodies do get passed to the kids. But let's just say she don't drink, she don't smoke, because she breastfeeding. I'm just saying, let's just say she don't do those things, then it's not dangerous. But if she's on any type of medication, if she's smoking cigarettes, marijuana, or she's drinking of any kind, then yes, that's dangerous because she's passing those toxicities over to this child.
Absolutely. And that's the part that is just like, again, not only that, but the baby, but again, with I'm just like, yeah, I'm no, this you don't put your
I wouldn't even, this how bad it is. I wouldn't even want my lactating mama to feed my baby.
I don't put it in like this is we not finna deal with
drip
this.
It over her mouth. Just drip it in. Just treat her like a little puppy. Just drip it in there. But just don't let her like
you finna
enjoy it. And she just gone at it. Then what happened when she come home? She like your milk so much she don't want my milk.
She don't want my milk. Yep.
Now we finna fight. I think it's more of a principle of like my child or her child calling that lady mama. You know how we are when it comes to the daddies dating somebody else. I wish you would call that heifer mama. I think it's more of that, you know, it's a principle thing. I will accept it if it was the last resort and my child was hungry. That's it. It gotta be the last resort. That cannot be the first thing that popped in your mind. To me, that's lazy. Right. You didn't try to problem solve. You didn't try to think of another way to feed this child. And your lazy way was like, come on, sugar.
Well, I would say that, like I say, I just would say just to keep my sanity and to keep my freedom, I would have to, I would just have to say, you know what, I'm just going to hope that she did it because she didn't want my child to go this whole entire day or until however many hours it was for me to be able to get to my child. She didn't want my child to be hungry and to to experience these difficulties. That's what I have to say in my mind, just to stay, just to not get up on her, because just thinking of you, doing this, sharing this intimate act with my child, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. So that's why I was just trying to look on them. But I'm gonna have to catch you. You're gonna like. You're gonna get your. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. At some point, I'm gonna have to tag you because it's gonna
so you just wanna feed people babies, yo man,
yo nasty dirty tiny, like and then don't be bragging talking about some well we yeah, and she out trifling and stuff, and I had to breastfeed her, baby. Girl, you will get your behind toe off. You will get your behind handed to you so fast, like it ain't even funny. Like you will get totally dealt with doing that. So ladies, I personally would not advise this. You have to you got to keep your titties to yourself. Keep your titties out of, out of other people's kids' mouths, and hopefully out of other people's men's mouths too. Just keep them to yourself. He might like them, but you don't have to share them with.
Did you say keep them out of other men's mouth?
Yeah, keep your titties. They should
keep
only
little things in your Brazil.
Keep them out. Listen. If if this is Rita's man, keep and your man is Taurus. Keep your testes out of Rita's man's mouth and keep them over here with Taurus. Cause see, that's how we get a little cloudy on who really the baby daddy is, and that's how we end up in those situations. I fell on them. That's how you end up there. So we want
little nasty nipple having sex.
The way that bonnet looked, I'm like, the way that bonnet was looking filthy, I'm like, that tells me that your titties is dirty around. Oh my Lord, mercy. I'm just like, oh my goodness, what are you trying to do to me right here? We cannot, and I mean cannot do this foolishness right here. So breastfeeding somebody else's baby is definitely a no. Do not try this at home, ladies. Just do not. I mean, I know you may be trying to bond with your dude and stuff like that, but no, we not going.
I didn't believe the baby daddy was for that. Where was he at?
He was there. He went. He had to go, I guess, tell a mama, and he's sitting up there looking like a duh. Well, it seemed like a good idea. I guess she could do it. She right. She make a good point. Now listen. Speaking of a good point, now I don't know how good of an idea, ladies. Look, okay, a lot of these guys, a lot of you are, some of you are. I'm gonna say this. A lot of you just nasty. You just want to stick your little peckers everywhere. You want to stick your pecker in right here. Then you want to turn around and stick your pecker over here in this one. This is what happened in this next situation. If it's not bad enough that the man is he probably 50 years old and folks are still calling him Scrappy. If that's not bad enough, but little Scrappy, leftovers, whatever you want to call this man from whatever reality he's on, he's on one of the Love and Hip Hop shows. So Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So Scrappy's baby mama,
Bambi.
Nope,
not Bambi.
Shakira. Yeah. Oh,
I am behind on the news. Who is Shakira?
I'm gonna tell you who she is right now.
Tell me, Jaye.
This is why this is foolishness. So Scrappy's baby mama Shakira recently had a little breakdown because she feels alone and unsupported by her baby daddy Scrappy, while she was crying her eyes out to Mama D. First of all, don't cry. I don't watch the show, but I remember when I was watching it, Mama D don't really have a show that she don't come off as that show crying your eyes out.
She do, so she could go tell somebody else.
She really don't. Listen, if you need a pimp, a thug, or a hustler, or you need a good scam, Mama D is who you want. But if your heart is broken over her trifling son, she's not a shoulder to cry on. But she cried over it. So Scrappy pulled off and left her and the baby. Now listen, this is where the foolishness comes in at. Shakira is the baby mama. You hold on to your chair for this one, Lady Lotus.
I hear you. I'm just trying to tell
them. As a result of a threesome. That's how Shakira is the baby mama.
Scrappy big idiot.
So you participated in a threesome. You were the threesome chick. You are the plus one to the party. You ain't even the girlfriend. You ain't even the wife. You are the plus one to the situation. And y'all up
First of all of them was because he ain't even got no woman now.
They up there in it playing that porn music, getting that in it, boom, boom. Whose is it? Boom, all that. They just getting it in. Ma'am, Shakira, can you? Now, look, I'm all for the, I wasn't ready for no baby type. Listen, but I'm gonna switch gears a little bit because this a little bit different, okay? This is a little bit different. Jay, how this is a little bit different. He still listen.
I cannot with this.
Listen, you done went into some foolishness with this. You are
he is too old for this. He know better. This dude is way over 30, pushing 40.
You're not a side, like, I don't understand. How did you find yourself here?
She found herself here because it's the scrappy. It's the scrappy of the love and hip hop. And he got that slow down.
First of all,
and we about to do it. And now you got a baby.
First,
now
he
you
looks
baby
like
mama number 3.
First, he looks like his dong is dirty. You got dirty dong. I don't listen. He looks like his dong. He looks like he don't clean his dong right. He don't take care of his dong. And I'm gonna tell you why he don't take. You in a threesome and you didn't wrap your dong up, and she don't love her kitty cat because you sitting up here. Listen, you cannot. I'm like, I don't see how a threesome would be possible. I couldn't be because you're not gonna put her bearberry juice up in my sweet petunia. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to bang her out first, change the condom, and then you can come bang me out. But you will not be putting her nasty woman juice in my sweet petunia. That's what you're not gonna be doing. So no, fellas, it will be some root. They talking about some don't catch feelings. Wait a minute.
I can't even see who.
No, we gotta get some baby wipes or something. You're gonna have to stick your dong in the bottle of water. You can pour the bottle of water over your dong, but you will not be putting that nasty woman's juice. And first of all, I would be like, you know what? She's loose. You're going to bring this loose woman to our bed, and then you think I'm supposed to let her? And he's looking like, you know what?
Oh, no, he over here. That's baby mama.
He's like, you know what? I just cannot with you. I cannot. I can't. So wait, so Trevor he's on YouTube. He said, okay, I do understand, know that men's wise health. Okay, but thank you, beautiful ladies. Rose, okay, freshly picked. Wait. He said, I am from the Caribbean of island of Antigua. Hey, Trevor, thank you for joining us all the way from the Caribbean.
Antigua.
Yes. But listen, here in the U.S. of A., Trevor, with this foolishness that's going on over here with this threesome with this lady over here, and now she's crying because her baby daddy. Well, he's just your baby daddy by default. Like, you all shouldn't have really.
I don't know, because these are some like relationship pictures I'm seeing.
No, I think that those are all altered up. You know, Scrappy is a boy man. Like, he's a man boy. He's like a man child.
He had the baby shower, girl. They is together.
And she really thought that she had one. But I'm like, look at how he done did. What was his first baby mama, Mona Lisa, whatever her name was, and then the second one, the animal's name. It's like he doesn't have a good track record. But you all, the moral of the story is this. You went into a threesome. You were just a plus one. You got tagged by default. You shouldn't be. Don't tell nobody else this. Don't tell nobody else this ish about you with the he's not doing what he's supposed to do, or you feel alone. You should feel alone. You were the other. You were not even the other woman. You were just an invitee to the foolishness. You're not even the other woman. Like, you're not. You are not the other woman, and I'm sorry, to inform you of that you're not the other woman. You are in fact the weakest link. Goodbye. Now
Goodbye.
listen, speaking of weakest link and goodbye, listen you all, this foolishness right here. We getting a bad. Can you check that? Because that one down there, we don't went out for some reason. The grown and sexy conversations, we checking it out now. But listen, speaking of the weakest link, you all, tonight we're talking about how much should you really reveal about your sexual past? How much should you really reveal? Should you go into real details? How much should you really reveal? That's for the group. How much should you really reveal? Now listen, I know some of you all are saying, you know what, Jay, I wouldn't really reveal anything because my past is my past. So whatever I've done in my past, that's just my past. I don't have anything, I don't have to explain anything to anybody. I don't owe anybody any explanations. My past is my past. So I'm not going to tell you anything because I don't owe you any explanations. Okay, I can get that. But I'm not going to wholeheartedly, I'm not going to jump on board with that. The reason why I'm not going to wholeheartedly jump on board with that is because I have questions. I'm going to want to know certain things about your past, your sexual past. But let's just get into it. First of all, like when you're speaking of a person's sexual, you're speaking of their sexual past. How important is it? Like, is that one of the main things that you talk about? Is it possibly a deal breaker for you? Or is it one of those things where you say, you know what, Jay, it's not really that important to me. Her past is her past, or his past is his past. So I'm not really concerned about what people do from their past. It's not that big of a deal. That's a noble way to look at it. But we got to be honest. There are certain things, thank you. There's certain things about a person's past that can affect our future. So there are certain things that we should be discussing that about their past that we should know. But we want to know exactly what should we be revealing. So for you, Lady Lotus, what do you think? How important is your mate or spouse's sexual past to you? How important is it to you?
It ain't never really been important to me. As long as you ain't telling me you got something that's incurable, who you slept with is who you slept with. I don't need to know that.
So now I would say this. Yes, we want to make sure that there are no incurable things of that nature. Like you ain't got nothing that you gonna give me. But I'm gonna have to. There's another question I have to ask, especially with this day and time. I'm gonna have to ask you because we had a hot topic where the guy decided to reveal this foolishness right before he got married, and it didn't work out well for him. So, would you want to know? I would want to know. Listen, have you played for the same team? Have you had, some visitors in your back door? Like what's going on in your back door? Have you had some company in that area? I would like to know that. That's my past. I think that's one piece of your past that could affect me. So I would want to know. What do you think about that?
I don't want to know that.
You don't want to know that?
If you tell me that, I'm gone. I'm not gonna play those games with you. And in my dating, in the dating, if I even get an inkling or a feeling that you like men, we, we're not doing that.
So it was like, so what about it was a situation where the guy, we had this as a hot topic a while ago, and he was like, he just
he did it when he was in college.
Yes.
I'm out.
And then he decided to reveal it to her, when they were together.
Yeah.
Before getting married.
In a situation like that, because you waited so long to tell me, I'm probably gonna. I really can't honestly say how I feel, but I'm a guesstimate that if my love for you is that strong that we about to get married, if you could reassure me that that only happened that one time and you just didn't want to go into the marriage without telling me, then okay. But you're gonna have to work through all my 151 questions that I'm gonna have, and we might have to hold this wedding off because I need to know, a lot of stuff. I need to be reassured that that was a college thing and that it has never happened since then. Now, if we in our 20s, I'm probably gonna have to leave you. But if we in our, plus is 30, 40s, and it's happened in your 20s or your late, yeah, because college 20s. If it happened in that 4-year range of college, I may be able to look past that. But now if you sitting up in my face and you telling me that, you had this moment in your life and I ended up sleeping with this man and I'm just supposed to sit here and believe that, no, we're not. I'm out. I'm ghost.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to I don't know. That would be something that I would like to. Let's talk about that before we get so serious, because that could be a deal. That could be a deal breaker, like your sexual past. Like if a man revealed that he was with another man, that could definitely be considered a deal breaker. Now, I think fellas are a little bit more lenient when it comes to that. They like, oh, you were? Do you still talk to her? Are y'all still cool? Can she come over one? No, she's not coming over one day. We ain't about that. But that's about the only question that I can think of that I would like, okay, let's talk about that part. But as far as your body count, you all, I'm so over these.
It's none of your business.
It's when somebody says that. So is that too much? Should you reveal what your body count is if you're dating someone and they want to know? Is that something that should be revealed about your sexual past?
I just feel like, why is it important? And I need you to really give me a college answer on why this is important to you on how many people I've slept with. Now, in my religion, if a woman slept with more than 3 people, then she's considered this and she's considered that. And is that how you feel? Okay, well, I'm just going to leave and remove myself from the situation because I'm not going to tell you if it's a yes or if it's a no. How many people I've slept with is my business. It's between me and them people. Now, if I was a hussy, and I decide, like that man decided to say, hey, when I was in high school or when I went to college and I slipped and I fell on it, in my heyday, sir, I was a hussy. And we might be outside and, some of my past might creep up on us. But I turned over my hussy. I turned it over. I no longer want to be a hussy. I was saved and touched by the spirit of the streets, and the streets said, they don't want me no more, and I don't want them no more. Sir, do you accept that? Well, how many men did you sleep with? It doesn't matter, sir. I'm telling you, I was a hussy. And being a hussy to me could be I slept with more than 5 people. We all have different numbers of what we feel like is a lot. A man could say he been with 15 women in his whole life, and they'll be like, oh, okay. But let a woman say she been with 15 men in her life. Dang, what you do? Leave one and go get on the other one? How is that even possible? If she say she only been with one person in her life, like, what?
I think talking about when you get into how many people, I think that part, that's never going to end well at all. I think for the most part, that question the body count question, I think that question should be avoided at all costs. I don't see a purpose in asking that body count question, simply because, again, you darned if you do, you darned if you don't. Like, what number, you're not going to believe anything that she says. Um you know, any number, and fellas, answer me if I'm wrong. Any
What's the
number.
number? What's the good number? What's the
You,
bad number?
only you.
What is the good number and what's the bad number? Give
Like,
us a range, because I don't think no one's ever answered this question.
like what number,
What is a
fellas,
good number for a
is
35-year-old woman? Let's just say, what is a good number? What's acceptable
what
for a
is
35-year-old woman for her body count? What is a good acceptable number for a 35-year-old man's body count? Let's go. I don't got my phone.
So Trevor,
Answer the
he's saying,
question.
I would tell anyone my past, why it helped me to overcome and help some other people to overcome the same situation I went through, that they may be going through. They may be going through the same situation. And that's true.
That's
so
true,
I can
but that's different from a body count, though. Me sitting here telling you, man, I was with this guy, and man, I felt like, he was abusing me when we was having, I would tell him no, and he would just take it, but we was in a relationship. Does that count as it? That's a conversation. Like, I feel like he's saying we talking about it, but somebody just saying, Jay, how many men have you slept with?
And
that's not helping nobody relationship.
It's not helping. And but I did have a guy to do that, to ask me that, and that was like the point. I'm like, first of all, so I'm like, if I tell you, which I told him, I'm like, I don't have no reason to lie to you. You lying. Well, why are you asking me? Why are you asking me anything? Like, don't ask me and then, oh, you lie for what?
Before we go, if you ask dating questions, if you have conversations, you might get a guesstimate. You might, because we talk about who we dated, or who you dated when you was in high school, or when you was in college. Who was your love in college? And in your 20s, who was your love? Like, okay, so, it seemed like you had a couple of boyfriends when you was in college. And, you could find it out, but is it really important?
Is it important? I'm like you said, as long as I'm not running into everybody like that you've been with, and also just your status, your health status. Like, that's really important. And I'm just like, I just don't want to be in no awkward position. So as long as you haven't done anything that will come, that one of those type of what's done in the dark type things, right, that will come back and bite not only you in the behind, but could possibly bite me as well, then it's not important. So anything, what should be revealed, Jay? Anything that could possibly hurt your partner,
right? Your partner, or even your children,
yourself, your family.
What if we have children together and this man just pop up out of nowhere? I slept with your daddy when we was in what?
Right. And then the thing is too, if you have a different type of sexual appetite, now we have to talk about that, because that's something that, listen, everything is real. People are out here in bestiology, and it's like all kinds of
walking
things.
Walking around with people on leashes and chains on all fours.
So I would think that your sexual appetite should be discussed. Meaning, listen, are you one for threesomes and all of this other stuff? Do you want to be urinated on, TT'd on? Do you want me to eat a whole Thanksgiving? Do you want me to eat a whole Thanksgiving meal off of you? Are you into doing it outside? Like,
do you want to swing from the chandelier? I think your first question, when you hit that spot of, I think I want to sleep with this person, let me get your test results. This is what we need to be doing in this day and age. Asking for test results. Let me email you mine, so I got yours, and we good. We ain't got to talk about nothing else.
Tone is saying body count is irrelevant because aside from the women who haven't had many partners, The rest are going to lie. But make no mistake about it, her actions later on in the relationship will tell the truth. Studies have been done. The more partners a woman has had, usually the harder she is to get along with, or either it's one piece of pins, or she cannot let go, or it's one schlong dong she can't let go of.
So what's the number?
But he said either way, you will never reach a level of comfort in that relationship where you feel like you're the only man or man enough guaranteed. So he really didn't say there's.
What's the number? Because what is that number to make you feel like that?
Mark is saying individuals change for better or worse over time. If I'm the one, the history doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And that's true. Like I said, I'm gonna slightly, again, history does matter in my opinion. It just depends on what type of history. Again, all of the history, like the number, may not be important, but again, your appetite, like what I just want to you. I always believe like when you're talking to somebody, you have to make sure you're sexually compatible.
But that's where that equally yoke come in.
And you definitely have to have that conversation, because again, if you are into some outlandish stuff that, or one person may consider it outlandish, but it's normal for another person. Are you all compatible? Like, so it's like, I think compatibility is a better conversation to be having opposed to your body count.
Even if we're not compatible, is it something you're willing to try? This is what I like. I got a paddle hanging on the wall. I like my women to wear feathers and this. She could be, what some people call a prude, and she might be shy, and she may have never done that before. She may not have never even worn sexy lingerie before. This is what I like. Are you willing to do it? If I go to the store and I buy you these things, let's have a safe word. She might be down for that, or he might want to get spanked and choked, he might. You never know.
And these are the conversations that you have to have. And like I say, to me, I think that these conversations, in all fairness, this should be had up front, because if you really think about it, I think so, at least in the beginning part, before feelings get involved, simply because you got dudes out here. Listen, I had this one dude, and we were talking lightly. But he kept on he kept on asking me for a threesome.
That's a turnoff to me.
And that's why I say stuff like that, it's a deal breaker for me if you're not if you're not that type of person. So it would have been pointless for me to catch feelings for you when I know that this is your appetite. So I'm glad that I knew this up front.
But he gave it to you up front. You didn't even have to ask. Some people gonna give it to you up front where you don't have to ask. That's why you're supposed to be dating in observation and paying attention to people and their ways and little things that they say, because it's like, did you just say turn off? And when you turned off, get away.
But see, me, you all, let me tell y'all, there's a whole lot of petty in me. So after asking me for like the 1,000th time.
I couldn't believe you said that, or even talk to this person to ask you that 1,000 times. Because you're not going to do it. And it would have been the first time. Nope.
So.
Ask me one more again. Lose my number. Your name is now do not answer in my phone.
So I eventually that's what happened. But in the midst of entertaining the foolishness, because it was some other things that I wanted out of the connection. So I was like, okay, well, if I answer, maybe he'll stop asking me, and then it'll go away for a while, then he can come back and ask me. So then I finally said, you know what? I said, yeah. I said, yep. I said, but it's gonna be with another dude. Oh, I don't want to be.
That's not what you said.
You gonna lower your voice up in here. You the one who asking for threesomes. You the one asked me. I'm not into dudes. I'm not into women.
I am not into women.
Oh, and now I'm petty. Oh, you gotta be so petty. I can't believe you are not having to open your mind and your butt cheeks. Now what?
She said open your mind and your butt cheeks.
Your mind, your butt cheeks, and your mouth.
As soon as you do that, I'm leaving anyway. So.
Right. So I'm just like, look. So needless to say, now I have to be labeled petty. So
I take that label.
you can call, how you still on that?
Because I could tell you ain't trying to marry me, telling me to have no threesome with you.
Like you still like, but like if you watching, you still on that though. Remember that conversation?
I don't want to have anything to do with that. Do not inbox me. Do not ask me no questions. Don't try to explain to me that you who she talking to. Dude, stay where you at.
But it's just like, you know what?
Do not DM me. I don't want to be in it. I'm telling you now, because y'all be tripping.
He'll never reveal himself.
He better not, because I talk too much.
He got too much to lose. He ain't gonna never reveal himself. But I'm just like, you know, it's crazy. So it's like, those are the things to be really having a conversation about. But how much should you really reveal? I would say just reveal things that are important.
I feel like that's at your comfort level.
At your comfort level, but especially something that could possibly hurt your partner or you, or something that can cause your relationship to end. If you know it's something that you've done, like, man, if he found out this, we wouldn't even last. That's what you should be revealing. We could be over with for this. I'm gonna reveal it because
that
I don't want.
Like you slept with his brother when y'all was in college, and your brother trying to keep it, because ain't nothing I did in my past that I feel like it's gonna ruin my relationship.
It's some sketchy.
If I did something that you don't like, that buddy, that's on you, because I can't do nothing but tell you. You is the third or fourth relationship.
All I can say is just use your better judgment. If it's worth losing that person, and you really invested in this person and you don't want to lose them, I would say have a conversation.
You gotta take it to the grave.
And then you're going to lose. And then you're going to have them spitting and step dancing on your grave, because you should have told them what it was. But that body count question, I think for me, that should be off the table. I don't think that body count question needs to be asked, nor does it need to be answered. So it's like, if you talking about that body count, I think that's the only question, in my opinion, that I think that's
what needs to be. You know how they cancel stuff. That's what needs to be culture canceled.
Body
question. Cancel that.
We canceling it. So
it's canceled.
We cancel body count.
We don't ask that anymore.
We're not asking it. We're not answering it.
We don't
We're
try
not
to make
even
it
talking
sound
about
better and say, how many people have you slept with? None. You ask your mama how many people she slept with.
Because if his name ain't Sweet Penis Willie, we don't want to hear about it, okay? And if he was Sweet Penis Willie, what you doing now? What you doing later?
I don't really care what your name is. Go ask your mama how many people she slept with and see what happened. Then go ask your daddy how many people he slept with, and you see what happened.
And then subtract my number about 20.
And you keep that. And you keep that right there in between you, because your mama gonna cuss you out and your daddy gonna say, well, son, let me see how many people. Don't tell your mama what I said. And then gonna tell your mama what number your daddy said.
And your daddy only had your mama. Guys, listen, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor, you all. Go to our page and like our page at the Jaye Spot. Follow us on Instagram at the Jaye Spot. Also follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel, the Jaye Spot Radio. Jaye is spelled Jaye. For all three. Until next time, you all take care of yourselves and each other. Peace out. Good night, you guys. Good night, you guys. And don't let these people trick y'all up into this foolishness, asking you how many people you done slept with. Just know it's your turn right now. Just tell them it's your turn, all right? It's your